What's going on, guys? It's Jordan back today with another video. And in today's video, we're going to take a look at Chainlink, which we haven't looked at in a couple of days. We have been getting upside pressure for the last couple of days, which is absolutely huge for Chainlink. But we're going to take a look at this 4-hour chart specifically to see what key could be forming before our next move to the upside or to the downside, right? So if that sounds good to you guys are new to the channel, end up enjoying today's content, and only if you do end up enjoying it, smack that subscribe button down below so you don't miss any of my uploads or future live streams. So let's jump straight onto the 4-hour chart here, guys. And as you guys can see, on the smaller time frame down here, we did end up breaking out of our symmetrical triangle we've been talking about, right? Specifically on my live streams for the past couple of days. We broke up out of this on the 4-hour, and what did we do? We came up and perfectly hit our measured move target, right? So from the top to the bottom, we extrapolate this at our breakout point, which is right there. Perfect, right? We came back tested it as support, and then pumped, and we pumped straight to, you guys can see, our measured move perfectly, right? And then we got rejected. That's fine. So what we're doing right now is we're back testing our symmetrical triangle. So if I get rid of that, you guys can see we also were forming in the same type of area a ascending triangle where we kept getting higher lows. We kept getting resistance at the same point on the top, which formed an ascending triangle. And what did we do, guys? We pumped up out of it, and now we're just back testing that old resistance as new support. And I would like to see further upside movement here, right? You want to see it bounce off that and it continue on to the upside. And on top of that, now you could be forming some type of rising wedge, right? You guys can see the clear resistance here that we got rejected on the top here, and you extrapolate that line from our last two local tops. We're making a pretty obvious trend line there for the wedge. So I'm going to get rid of that. I'm going to keep the symmetrical, the ascending triangle there so you guys can see a little better, but you can see where we got resistance there, and we could be forming this rising wedge now. So is it possible we come back down and retest the bottom here? Sure, but I think we break out of this ascending triangle. I believe we're going to get a bounce here to the upside, and we're going to retest the top of this wedge somewhere around this area. So look out for that. If we do drop down to the downside, right, we're probably just going to retest this as support before moving on back up. So I think it is possible we could dump down to like 2350, might see a quick wick down and then get bought back up again. But I mean, it's pretty obvious that this thing wants to go up. I mean, you keep getting higher lows here, pretty significant higher lows, right? Look at the incline on this. So this wants to move up in my opinion, and I think we will see it move up in the short term. Worst case, we come back down and retest this as support, guys. So that's the 4-hour chart here. We're just watching our new rising wedge pattern for Chainlink. Now, let's jump straight on into the daily chart. And on the daily chart, we have a lot of things going on. So if you guys have been watching my videos, you know, right? We broke out of this symmetrical triangle that we were in ever since August. We broke out of that back in the beginning of January. And we look at our measured move, right? From our breakout point, what did we do on this, guys? Perfect. We hit our measured move once again, absolutely perfectly on that symmetrical triangle. Now we're getting a pullback. But like we just looked at, we just broke out of the symmetrical, the ascending triangle, and now we're back testing it as support. So what do we do now? Well, guys, we look back at our past 3 symmetrical triangles that we usually form for Chainlink in these consolidations. You guys can see that we usually surpass that. We usually don't stop at that measured move of the triangles, right? So this is obviously this measured move of this triangle here. Extrapolated where we broke out, we went literally up. We went up another 171% from there, right? You guys can see same thing here. We extrapolated this measured move, put it at our breakout point. We broke up another 280%. So we still have a good amount to move up, in my opinion. So we'll wait and see. And it's not like we're seeing diminished returns on these breakouts. This one broke out more than this one. So we'll see what happens there. But we're at a critical point right now. Do we come back down into the ascending triangle, or do we pump up past our measured move? That is really what we're looking at. You can see our 50-day and 200-day moving averages were above both, and those are getting steep, and that's exactly what you want to see. You can see on the back test of this triangle, we also back tested the 50-day moving average, which is perfect. That's what you want to see as well. But yeah, guys, this is looking very, very big in the medium term as well for Chainlink. Obviously watch this green line because there's a lot of confluence there around that 26.93 mark, but everything is looking good on the medium term. So let's switch on over to the weekly, and this is what I wanted to spend a good chunk of the video on, kind of the longer term analysis. If you guys have been watching my Chainlink videos for however long you've been watching my channel, or you've been tuning in my live streams, we've talked about this rising wedge on the weekly that we broke out of for Chainlink weeks ago, right? We broke this back in August, but I like to always look at it to remind you guys where we are in the cycle. So obviously you guys know we split Chainlink up into 3 different cycles, right? And you guys can see every time we break out of that symmetrical triangle, usually what we do is we hug that 20-week moving average before we start our pump. You guys can see each of these boxes, we usually spend a little bit of time grinding against that 20-week moving average, maybe not coming all the way back down to it, but at least staying close to it and kind of going sideways before really pumping. And you guys can see each of these green boxes represents that. And you guys know the pumps that happened after both of these, right? 800%, this one here, 365%, and so far this one, to me, really only has been 100%. So we still have a good amount of room to run up for Chainlink. This is an extremely bullish pattern here where we broke up out of it, we back tested it for weeks, which is huge, right? So this is clear support now, and now we're pumping up just up to the upside. So this is huge, guys. Make sure you guys mark this on your charts of this little fractal here. Based on when we grind against this 20-week moving average, it's literally like a catapult that catapults us up. Same thing here. Grind against it, couple wicks down to it, and then we pump. This thing, we've been grinding against it, but never getting a close below it, and then we pump. So huge stuff there on the weekly chart for Chainlink as well. We can take a look at our fibs maybe to see if we have any confluence on the fibs here from our swing high to our swing low. I'm going to do it from there. So based on that, our 1.618 Fibonacci is all the way up here at about 27.71. We kind of wicked up to it, not all the way to it, but that kind of plays out a little bit. Our next resistance is all the way up here at about $40. That's the 2.618 Fibonacci. So I'm going to mark that on the charts here, guys. And that's really our next point if we can break this 1.618 Fibonacci, right? You guys can see the price actions here, and you guys can mark that on your charts if you would like. So now we're going to look at the Chainlink Bitcoin pair. You guys know I like to look at this to kind of look at the short-term direction we could be in. And it looks like Chainlink could maybe bleed on Bitcoin a little bit in the short term, which is perfectly fine. As long as Bitcoin's pumping up 5-10% a day, Chainlink can still go up 4 to 9% per day. And this would still bleed, and Chainlink would still go up in value. But you can see we got rejected perfectly at our old support, right? So we did flip our old support now as new resistance. Maybe we just come back down and back test this green line here, which is our previous local high. We kind of wicked down to it already here, but we definitely could go back down, back test this, and then continue up on the ratio. Kind of let Bitcoin have its little run, right, for maybe another week or two, maybe 2, 3, 4 weeks, and then we can see Chainlink start gaining on Bitcoin again in the short term. But that's about it, guys. We're watching this wedge. We're watching this ascending triangle back test. Will we come back into the ascending triangle, or will we pump back up to the top of the wedge somewhere around that 27 mark? Probably that matches up with this fib that we just looked at, that 27.71 level. So hope you guys enjoyed today's first video. I will be making another video on another altcoin. I don't know which one I will be doing yet, so that'll be a surprise for you guys. I also will be live streaming at some point today. I will schedule that for you. It probably will be later tonight, probably around 7, 8 o'clock, somewhere in that range. But we'll get to that when we get to that. I hope you guys enjoy your Saturday if you are going out and doing something, and I'll see you guys in later's video. Peace.